They don't actually work for it. It's like someone is out there who's talking about this issue, that some issue that you want to write about. Somebody. And that's a big problem with the newsroom is, we only need credible sources. Yes, we do, but there are all these conversations taking place right now, whether it's on veterans, whether it's on crime, whether it's on crime in my neighborhood, crime, good things going on, that unless you're out doing it, which again, use that advantage of your acceptance that social media is a resource. It's not your source, but it's the greatest. I mean, can you imagine if we had fake man? Because when we saw that editor coming,
right?
I mean, the old trick was pick up the phone, right? Somebody, right? Because it's like they're about to say what you're working on. It's like shoot, and oh yeah, what do you have for Sunday's paper, right?
And you know what? And talk to. I mean, there's nothing that beats just talking to folks.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have to all be digital. I mean, just in your day-to-day lives. When you're sitting around with your friends. Or you're going out to the neighborhood restaurant or hanging out on the weekend, just talking to people, it's like, oh, that's an interesting twist on that. That's an interesting idea. Oh, that's happening in your neighborhood? I mean, that's the organic way to find ideas that are interesting. And so that's never going to go out of style. That's old school and that's still fundamental.
Yeah, and it's about, it's some of the fundamentals, getting in early, staying late. Shadowing, particularly when you're first starting out, it's shadowing other reporters. One of my best friends today, it was someone I just started shadowing around, and he fortunately he took me under his wing. He's like, "Oh, okay, come with me to cover this meeting. Come with me to meet this guy." And well, I had to do my other job because I was a cop intern, but it was like, hey, Mike was like, come on with me and I'll show you around. So at least I was familiar with, well, what are the opportunities there? And because you need folks to look out for you in the newsroom, but out of the office and to our point, see it for yourself. The days of flying around the country are kind of limited, but living in our communities, don't get so tied to email, texting, post, Instagram, tweets. Use it as a tool that you don't go out there and physically go to the original source. It's probably out there online anyway. The number of public documents, court cases, police records, company records, personal records. But the risk to your question is we've got to do so much more to be ethically concerned. Janet Cook, my wife was in the newsroom during that whole story when Jackie, and she tells some amazing stories of editors who just, bought into the story. They rode around with her and she said, I don't know where he is today, because he moves around because, he doesn't want to be caught by authorities and he's embarrassed. And
the other person who did that was Jason at the New York Times.
Jason Blair.
Yeah. Who was writing these incredible stories from this location and that location. He was right in Brooklyn in his apartment, making it all up.
Yeah.
And it was a huge scandal. It led to the firing of, my mentor, Gerald Boyd, who was the highest ranking black editor at the New York Times. The top editor was fired. It was a huge scandal. Ethics is really the foundation of what we do.
Yeah.
Right? And it's, as I said at the beginning, it's what sets us apart from everybody else that has a smartphone and can type. You know what I mean? This is a real profession. You can use social media as a tip-off. You can see that, oh, that's an interesting thread, but then you've got to call that person and see that person and talk to that person. That's just a little bit of a lead, a little bit of a roadmap, that you're the one that in the end has to verify it. And that's what, that's a very important role. Absolutely. That we're going to always need and that you guys are going to continue to play.
Yeah, and the other part of this is you trust no one, right? You trust no one. I've heard someone use this line. I hadn't heard it in a while, but if your mother says "I love you," don't trust her, right? But it's kind of this attitude that says, you've got to push your sources to make sure they're telling you the truth because they have an agenda, obviously. Particularly if they're public officials or elected officials.
You have to find a backup source.
Yeah, so that's people, that's documents, and it's just kind of feet on the street.